Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master, and today we're diving deep into one of the biggest fantasy adventures to hit streaming, Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 1. From gods meddling in mortal lives to ancient prophecies, impossible quests, and a war brewing between Zeus and Poseidon, this season delivered a fast-paced, emotional, and myth-filled journey that brought the beloved book series to life in a whole new way. So, if you need a full refresh on everything that went down, from Percy's first monster encounter to uncovering the true lightning thief, this is your ultimate Season 1 recap. Let's break down all 8 episodes and trace every twist, every betrayal, and every godly revelation.
Welcome to camp, Percy Jackson.
Episode 1. The world breaks open. Percy Jackson's story begins with a field trip that flips his entire life upside down. At the Metropolitan Museum of Art, 12-year-old Percy is just trying to survive middle school when his Latin teacher, Mr. Brunner, hands him what looks like an ordinary pen. Percy can't make sense of why his teachers act weird around him or why he always feels like reality glitches whenever he's stressed. But then, everything snaps into focus. When Percy accidentally pushes Nancy Bobofit into a fountain, his algebra teacher, Mrs. Dodds, pulls him aside, only to reveal her true form, Alecto, one of the terrifying Furies. Immediately, the pen transforms into a celestial bronze sword in Percy's hand, and he vaporizes Alecto purely out of instinct. Moments later, every trace of her is gone, and everyone insists Mrs. Dodds never existed. Shaken, Percy is expelled and returns to a miserable home with his awful stepdad, Gabe Ugliano, and his loving mother, Sally Jackson. Sensing Percy is in danger, Sally takes him to their cabin in Montauk, where she finally tells him the truth. Greek gods, monsters, myths, they're all real. Before Percy can even process this, his best friend Grover arrives, revealing that he's actually a satyr tasked with protecting Percy. The three attempt to reach Camp Half-Blood, but the Minotaur intercepts them, killing Sally right in front of Percy. Grief turns to rage, and Percy uses nothing but raw instinct to kill the Minotaur and rip off its horn. The effort exhausts him, and he collapses at the borders of Camp Half-Blood, where he's greeted by the centaur Chiron. Episode 2. A New Life at Camp Half-Blood. Percy wakes up in the infirmary, healed but deeply confused. He meets Mr. D, also known as Dionysus, the eternally grumpy camp director, and learns that Mr. Brunner was Chiron all along. Percy is placed in the Hermes cabin since no god has claimed him yet, and gets to know fellow campers like Luke Castellan, the charismatic head counselor, and Clarice LaRue, daughter of Ares, who wastes no time bullying him. When Clarice and her friends try to dunk Percy in a toilet, the water obeys him instead, splashing them back and hinting at his hidden lineage. Annabeth Chase, daughter of Athena, keeps an eye on Percy, waiting for him to be ready. She picks him for her team during the camp's traditional game of Capture the Flag, while Luke tells Percy the heartbreaking story of how he and Thalia saved Annabeth years ago. The game begins, and Percy's instincts allow him to repel Clarice's ambush. After the game ends, Annabeth pushes him into the creek, and the water heals all his wounds. Right there, in front of everyone, a glowing trident appears above Percy's head. Poseidon has claimed him. The uncamped erupts with shock. Soon after, Percy learns that Zeus believes he stole the Master Bolt and has given him only a week to return it or risk war. Grover then reveals the one hope Percy has left. Sally Jackson is alive somewhere in the underworld. That's all Percy needs to hear. He accepts the quest.
You shall go west and face the...
Episode 3. The Prophecy and the Journey West. Before setting off, Percy visits the Oracle of Delphi and receives a cryptic prophecy about betrayal, danger, and a tragic choice. Believing Hades stole the bolt, Percy prepares to travel to the underworld beneath Los Angeles. He chooses Annabeth and Grover to accompany him, and Luke gifts him a pair of winged shoes as a farewell. Their journey begins on a bus heading west, but Alecto returns with another fury, attacking the trio in New Jersey. They narrowly escape and find themselves at a statue-filled home belonging to Medusa. Instead of attacking them, Medusa tries to win Percy over by telling her side of the story, how Athena cursed her, and how gods ruin lives. She even promises to help Percy save his mother if he hands over his friends. Percy rejects her offer, and the trio eventually decapitate her together. Percy uses Medusa's head to turn Alecto back to stone, and confesses to Annabeth and Grover that the oracle predicted he would be betrayed by a friend. They clear the air, reassure each other, and Percy mails Medusa's head straight to Olympus out of spite. Episode 4. Poison, Pride, and a Plunge. The trio continue west by train, and Annabeth opens up about running away from home and how Luke and Thalia found her. When they stop to rest, their belongings are ransacked by a strange woman, Echidna, mother of monsters, who is training a young chimera. The chimera poisons Percy, and as his condition worsens, Annabeth drags him to the top of the St. Louis Gateway Arch, dedicated to her mother Athena, hoping for divine help. Instead, they learn Athena is furious because Medusa's head was delivered to Olympus, giving Echidna permission to attack. Percy urges Annabeth and Grover to escape as he faces the chimera alone. The battle goes horribly, and Echidna forces Percy to fall from the top of the arch. Just when everything seems lost, Poseidon intervenes, creating a waterspout that saves Percy and pulls him into the Mississippi River. There, a Nereid appears and tells Percy what he needs to hear. He can breathe underwater, and his father has always been watching. Episode 5. The God of War and the God of Forges. Annabeth and Grover find Percy alive the next morning, but things get worse. The trio are now wanted criminals thanks to the destruction at the Arch and their train incident. As they continue their journey, they run into Ares, the God of War, who offers them help in exchange for retrieving his shield from Waterland, an abandoned water park filled with Hephaestus's traps. Percy and Annabeth find the shield in a tunnel of love, but Percy becomes trapped on a magic throne designed to imprison cheaters. Annabeth's empathy and cleverness convince Hephaestus to free Percy, and in return, the god promises to put in a good word with Athena. Ares gives them a magical backpack full of supplies and arranges transportation via a zoo truck headed toward Las Vegas. On the ride, Grover finally confesses he knows who stole the Master Bolt. Ares lets something slip during their conversation.
And then go save your mother.
Episode 6. The Casino That Stops Time. As they arrive in Las Vegas, Percy overhears a dream where a mysterious voice manipulates the lightning thief. When the trio contacts Luke via iris message, they suspect Clarice might be involved. Inside the Lotus Hotel and Casino, Grover finds Augustus, an old family friend who claims he saw Pan, while Percy and Annabeth meet Hermes. He refuses to help, too burdened by immortal parental problems to get involved. Only later do they realize the horrifying truth. The casino's air is infused with lotus fruit, trapping guests in a timeless haze. Days pass in minutes. Once they escape, they find Hermes' car still waiting with directions to the underworld. The car speeds them to Santa Monica Beach, where the same Nereid appears again. She reveals the worst news yet. Their deadline is over. Zeus is preparing for war, and Poseidon has left to do the same. Still, Percy refuses to quit. The Nereid gives Percy 4 pearls, one for each escape from the underworld. Episode 7. The Truth Beneath the Earth. A flashback shows Sally struggling to help Percy cope with visions of monsters, reaching out to Poseidon, who insists Percy needs to grow on his own. In the present, the trio confront Procrustes, a monster tailor who tries to stretch travelers to size. Percy outsmarts him and gains access to a secret entrance to the underworld. Inside, they meet Sharon, who summons Cerberus. Annabeth's wisdom and compassion allow her to bond with the massive 3-headed dog, giving them time to escape. But Grover loses his pearl, meaning he might not get out alive. In the Asphodel Meadows, Annabeth becomes trapped by by her own regrets and uses her pearl to escape. Percy and Grover push on toward Tartarus, where Grover nearly gets dragged in by the cursed flying shoes. During the chaos, Percy discovers the Master Bolt inside the magical backpack Ares gave him, meaning he was set up from the start. At Hades' palace, Percy realizes the god of the dead didn't steal the bolt or his helm of darkness. Both thefts were orchestrated by Kronos, the Titan King, who wants his children to destroy one another. Hades demands his helm back, but Percy refuses to give him the bolt, promising instead to retrieve the helm. Percy and Grover use their pearls to escape and reunite with Annabeth on Montauk Beach, just in time to face Ares.
Survive. What's next?
Well, it turns out I'm pretty good at
Episode 8, the son of Poseidon versus the god of war. At the shoreline, Percy confronts Ares and challenges him. First Blood wins the bolt and the helm. The god laughs at the idea of fighting a child, but once the battle begins, Percy's connection to the sea gives him a powerful edge. He summons a massive wave, catches Ares off guard, and cuts him across the heel. Enraged and humiliated, Ares disappears, vowing deadly revenge. Percy gives the helm to a restored Alecto, instructing her to tell Hades to honor his bargain about Sally. Then, Percy finally reaches Mount Olympus, now located atop the Empire State Building, where he returns the Master Bolt to Zeus. Instead of gratitude, Zeus prepares to kill him, but Poseidon intervenes. The brothers, estranged for centuries, begrudgingly agree to bring Percy's warning about Kronos to the Olympian Council. Zeus leaves after warning Poseidon to keep Percy away from him. Back at Camp Half-Blood, Percy confronts Luke after noticing the cursed shoes were part of Kronos' plan. Luke confesses he stole the bolt and helm on Kronos' orders and asks Percy to join him. Percy refuses, and the two fight. Luke wins the duel, but flees when Annabeth reveals herself as a witness. As summer ends, Percy prepares to leave for home. Annabeth decides to repair her relationship with her family, and Grover begins his search for the god Pan. The trio promises to reunite next year. That night, Kronos speaks to Percy in a dream, confirming that Percy is a key piece in his return. Meanwhile, Gabe opens a mysterious package, Percy's gift to him, containing Medusa's head. The statue of Gabe becomes permanent.
Oh, is the key to my return.
Our nerdy thoughts. And that wraps up the entire first season of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. From discovering the gods to facing down Ares, escaping the underworld, and uncovering Luke's betrayal, this season set the stage perfectly for the larger war brewing in the shadows. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Your Nerdy Show, and ring the bell so you never miss a breakdown, theory, or recap. Drop your thoughts below. What was your favorite moment of Season 1, and what are you most excited to see in Season 2? Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Spoiler Master signing off. Stay mythic.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.